Roadway, after all of that, got away perfectly well and probably leads from Star Child in the early stages. Then rushed up is Humankind, jumped mid-division, but has now gone much closer with Kinjani also there towards the outside. Peaceful Night is next, and Rainbow Sky is next in the field, just having to be nursed along here in the early stages, with Urban Decay behind her. Movie Star Looks, another one who's just being squeezed at further back with Sonamos. And then we've got Rubina Rose towards the rear end of the field, and sitting last of all is Olympic Quest as they move on down the far side, making the turn then at the end of the back straight. So Roadway leading now, definitely out in front from Star Child. Humankind and Kieran Fallon now on board, sits in third. Kinjani's in fourth place, and then Peaceful Night and Urban Decay. They're both split by Rainbow Sky, who's still just learning as she goes. She's within striking distance, but just nudged gently along. So too is Movie Star Looks in behind her. Rubina Rose with work to do. Sonamos one from the rear. Last of all is Olympic Quest, well strung out as they head then down the straight. The 2 furlong marker is in sight, and Star Child's coming through to put it up to Roadway. In behind those, Urban Decay is making nice progress. Humankind is next. Rainbow Sky is making very heavy weather of this, back in 6th or 7th place. Up front, meanwhile, Roadway is battling back. Humankind, the danger down the outside. Urban Decay, Rainbow Sky. At last the penny is dropping with her. Rainbow Sky, well, she looked all at sea for much of that, but got up to win narrowly. Rainbow Sky from Urban Decay in behind those Humankind and Kinjani.
Oh, I think we've seen a pretty good one there in Rainbow Sky. Looked all at sea, didn't know what was going on for most of the home straight, but finally the penny dropped and the gears kicked in, and so did the gas, and she's come home really well down the outside to clobber all those in front of her. It did not look likely at all at one stage for most of the race. She was being chivied along, being cajoled along by James Doyle, but she certainly got talent, because to win from that kind of spot when nothing was really going right for her, I think takes a fairly special performance, particularly as the eventual second, Urban Decay, just sprints past her at about the 2 furlong pole and looked for all the world as though she was going to come and win the race, making up giant strides, but even more giant, vast strides in fact down the outside in the blue of Godolphin was James Doyle and Rainbow Sky. It cost 1.5 million guineas and certainly has a talent to match her precocious pedigree, because she's got a beautiful breeding on paper. And has clearly got some talent, hasn't she? I was very taken by it. I thought Humankind had every chance on the inside, always had a pretty nice sit, but it wasn't quite her day, and I think she'll be better next year as a 3-year-old, just trying to learn her way as well. We've got a nice benchmark set by the 3rd place Kinjari. She's had a couple of very decent starts so far, second last time out, and she's set the standard before this. And the fact that both Urban Decay and Rainbow Sky, both newcomers, have gone past her in a matter of stride suggests that the front 2 could be pretty smart, and I think that the way the winner has won suggests to me, Nick and Martin, that we could be dealing with a fairly exciting prospect, especially once she gets to know the game properly.
Yeah, cheers, Tom. Well, for a greater degree, it didn't look like happening, but it did happen, and on the exchange, she was matched for a few quid at 100 to 1 plus. So well done to anyone who availed themselves of the mid-race prices, particularly at the point where she didn't look like she was going to win, but win she did when the penny dropped.
She looked well beat at the junction. James never looked happy on her from the gate, I have to say, and I think Charlie Applleby and his team will think this is a job well done, because this filly has clearly got a big engine, but she just looks very unfurnished, she looks weak, and it took a long time for the penny to drop, but I bet she's going to be good next year, isn't she?
Yes. Now, for the minors, the second has run a very good race. Will come to her, Urban Decay. She broke from a wider draw in 12. The winner was coming out of 7. It is debutants to the 4, and there wasn't actually too much between sort of 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th thereafter. But you get the feeling that, well, as you put it to me in the run, if they meet again, they wouldn't be anywhere near this filly.
Yeah, I can imagine this filly. Look at her here now in the all blue colours. James is never really comfortable. He's having to squeeze her to get a position, and then he just sits up on her here, and he's just trying to get her balance and get her travelling. He's following Kinjani in the Kirsten Rousing colours, she's run a blinder. She's finished 3rd, and if we take her as a mark,
she's going to get her mark after this as well.
She's going to get a mark after, I don't know, what do you expect her in the 80s? Yeah.
We'll see, but keep an eye on that one.
You know, she was beaten by a decent horse last time, but the favourite here, she's beat. She looks beat and she's under pressure. And James is sensibly, he's just kept her to the outside and give her one clear run at the field when he turns in, rather than trying to go inside. But she's just a little bit clueless and green, and for me she looks very weak. So to win like she's done is an incredible performance, I think, because they're quickening away from her on the front end here.
Yep.
We can see Robert Havlin on roadway. He's committed from the junction. Star Child has had a run. Luke Morris going for it in the yellow, and Humankind is on the inside. Your selection, Nick, Urban Decay, in the silver colours.
Can we be as blunt as that after I said my selection? No. She was one purely on pedigree that I was looking forward to seeing, just as having a little bit of affection for the dam a few years ago.
She's run a blind and she's beaten by a very good horse, and she looks like a future winner. I'm sure next time she runs, she will win in the silver colours of Clipper Logistics. But the Rainbow Sky has fully justified a price tag there, because she's by no means a finished article.
I'm sure there will be people that will have looked at the card at Kempton, and with the second leg of this race, the second division of the Fillies novice race coming up at 5:45. It is James Doyle, Charlie Applleby Godolphin again with Glittering Lights, who's trading around even money favourite. I'm sure plenty of people, or a number of people, will have done the double. They're off the mark with the first one, for all that it didn't always look likely. 5-6, Rainbow Sky wins. Urban Decay, who was backed from bigger prices, 22-1, ran very well. And Kinjani, 10-1, has finished in third. The distance is 3/4 and the same. Right, there is the result as we should have brought you from Dundalk. Apologies for the confusion. That maiden going the way of Whispering Royal, 11-2. Sea of Cortez, 3-1, and one of the joint favourites. Martin Dwyer, a fan of that one, in second. Initial attempt, 18-1 in third.